So we got some more information regarding the next Nintendo console, what we are currently calling the Nintendo Switch 2, which has been confirmed, by the way, to be coming out sometime by the end of the fiscal year, which is March 2025, and also been confirmed to be not just a Switch successor, but basically, in the words of the president of Nintendo, it is going to be, quote-unquote, essentially next or new model or new Switch model. I forget how he phrased it, something along those lines. So it's obviously going to be, something completely new, kind of like the DS to the 3DS or the Game Boy to the Game Boy Advance. It's going to be a significant jump, not just like kind of mid-generation refresh like the Switch to the OLED, but a significant jump. But not, a completely different console like, let's say N64 to GameCube, for example. So we're going to be talking about a couple more details in here. There's some official information and also some more leaks. So we're going to kind of mesh that up in this video, and I'll make sure to be clear on which one's which, so and don't get confused. Is this a leak or is this official? I'll let you guys know. First things first, if you guys do enjoy this one, be sure to consider leaving it a like. Really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Nintendo-based content here on the channel. All right, let's go ahead and jump straight into this. Let's go ahead and start with the leak stuff first, because we actually got a lot going on here. This one is reported from Centro Leaks on Twitter, who says the source is apparently trustworthy. They claim, anyways. They say the information comes from official sources that are tracking shipments happening between component suppliers, NVIDIA and Nintendo. So it is very likely that it is completely accurate. They say the trustworthiness, in their opinion, is a 9 out of 10. But again, as per usual with rumors, take it with a grain of salt. It's not a lot of details, but they're basically saying that the next Nintendo console, again, we're calling it the Switch 2 for now, has 12 gigs of RAM. And to put that into comparison, I believe the PS5 has 16 gigs. But this is 2 sticks of 6 gig 7500 MTS LPDDR5 modules. So they're powerful and quick sticks of RAM. So there is that to take into consideration. Because I know some people are going to say, well, it's only 12 gigs of RAM. It's not a lot. And I get it, but 12 gigs, it is under the PS5 technically, just based off of that. But that's just the memory, right? We don't know anything about the CPU or the GPU yet, and so there's a lot more that could be said. They also just quickly noted 256 gigabytes of UFS 3.1 internal storage, and they noted that it seems like the console will include a built-in microphone, and so maybe the controllers too. So maybe kind of similar vein of the Wii U gamepad had, the current PS5 DualSense controller has. Maybe something like that. Maybe they're looking to expand the social aspects a bit, or maybe not. Maybe it has nothing to do with the social aspects at all. The DS had a microphone, and they used that actually for some pretty cool features. For example, in Phantom Hourglass, Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass, you had to use the microphone. You had to blow into the microphone to blow out candles and lanterns and torches or whatever, which is really cool. So it could just be something like that, just like a feature to have in there that they can utilize in different games, which Nintendo always likes to do stuff like that. So I really hope they do, because I've always enjoyed those kind of, little quirky kind of, fun little, what some people would call gimmicky, but I don't think it's gimmicky, but I call them fun little kind of quirky, features of a console. I love that Nintendo does that kind of thing. So hopefully they use it for that, but maybe also some kind of social features of some sort. But I mean, Nintendo is a little bit kind of strict on that, so you got to keep that in mind. So another leak regarding specs coming from a different source. This one's coming from the Family Boards, and Stealth40K over on Twitter did a very helpful job kind of compiling this in his tweet, which he credits Neoxin, that's how you pronounce his name, 619, who also kind of broke down in digestible terms. It's kind of going through the line of people, if you will. But this is what it said. So again, take it with a grain of salt, but this is what it says. You can see it up on screen. It says that basically in handheld mode, the power is going to be right above the PS4 before DLSS. So assumingly, rumors have it that this console should have DLSS, which could push it a little bit further. But in handheld mode, right above PS4, again, before DLSS. So it's a jump. It's a jump because the Switch is under the PS4. It's just under the PS4. So it is a good jump from Switch, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. Docked, it says between the PS4 Pro, so it's more powerful than the PS4 Pro, which was 4K, and the Xbox Series S. So between the PS4 Pro and Xbox Series S, less powerful than the Xbox Series S, more powerful than the PS4 Pro. Again, this is before DLSS with more modern hardware than the former. So you know, the Xbox Series S is pretty powerful, but not as powerful as the Xbox Series X and PS5. So, you know, this console, if these rumors are true, it's not that powerful compared to modern consoles, which is a little bit concerning, but at the same time, not surprising. The RAM, they say, is a little bit slower than the PS5 and Xbox Series X/S, but more capacity than the Xbox Series S. Should have about 10.5 to 11 gigs of RAM available to games. And then finally, the storage, they say that the UFS 3.1's max speeds should be about a hair under Xbox Series X and S, which is 2.1 gigs per second versus 2.4 gigs per second. Like Stealth noted, you know, still stay skeptical, of course, until Nintendo makes it official. But if this is true, again, it's concerning but not surprising, because this is what Nintendo does. Their new consoles are always in between the last and the current consoles for PlayStation and for Xbox. I wish it would have a little bit more oomph so it could actually last a little bit longer. And again, this is still a rumor, so I don't want to assume this is legit. But if it is legit, then I would hope and wish that they would give it more power, just so it would last a little bit longer. Because like I said before, man, some games start to kind of chug a little bit. You know, especially you play like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Like, man, those games, it's like the frame rate is not good, man. So it's disappointing that Nintendo just doesn't seem to want to give their consoles a little bit more power to kind of catch up to the modern consoles, especially if they want to continue with, you know, solid third-party support. So, but again, take it with a grain of salt. It's a rumor, but you know, it is what it is. One other thing regarding, well, this isn't really leaks. This is more of a mock-up. This is from someone on the Family boards by the name of MJer. And they made this picture. So again, that's where it comes from. You can see kind of a little bit of a mock-up based on the rumored stuff, the leaked parts and stuff. You know, the leaked ideas of how big the next console is going to be. The fact that it's similar to the Switch, you know, that's official. So they're kind of showing it a little bit in terms of that. You can see the Switch OLED, and then in the middle would be again, just a mock-up of the Nintendo Switch 2, and then at the bottom is a Steam Deck. So it'd be smaller than the Steam Deck, but the screen would be about 8 inches, I believe, is what they confirmed. I think the OLED is 7, if I remember correctly. So again, this new, you know, Switch console, whatever, Switch 2, the leaks say that it's going to be about an inch bigger in screen size than I think the OLED is currently. So it'll be a little bit bigger and bulkier. And again, this is just a mock-up that I thought was kind of cool to show you guys. So that's it for basically all of the rumor stuff. Let's get into the official stuff. We got a couple different things. There's this whole Q&A, and it's in Japanese, but Nintendo tweeted out, and this is a little bit of their the translation that they posted. This is not really entirely specifically to the next Nintendo console, but it kind of is. And that's regarding, you know, physical versus digital, right? Because there's a lot of companies that are trying to push digital. And so, you know, the question might arise, well, is Nintendo going to try to push digital as well? Or are they going to still, you know, keep, you know, wanting to push both physical and digital? And this is what the president of Nintendo, Shuntaro Furukawa, which I don't know how to pronounce his name correctly, so I'm sorry. This is what he had to say in the Q&A. He says, yes, digital sales and digital sales ratio increased. Our basic policy is not to simply increase the ratio of digital sales, but to maximize game software sales, including packaged software sales. And this policy will remain unchanged. In doing so, we need to improve convenience for both customers who play packaged software and customers who play downloadable versions, and we would like to continue making improvements and innovations in the future. And Nintendo did note that this was machine translated, so this wasn't actually translated by a specific person, but like AI, you know, Google Translate probably or something like that. So keep that in mind. Yeah, all that to say, I mean, it's nice to hear that, you know, moving forward, you know, and this kind of does go into the next Nintendo console. And we do have one other thing to note, so don't click off too quick. There's one other thing specifically to the Nintendo next Nintendo console. But it's nice to know that they're going to continue supporting both, and they're not just trying to push, like, you know, digital like some companies are. So especially with Nintendo, a lot of people love the physical collectability aspect, right? There's a lot of Nintendo collectors out there, and you know, I'm a little bit of one myself, not a massive one, but you know, I appreciate the physical releases as well. Moving on from that, our final thing to talk about is another quote regarding, you know, when are we going to hear more about this next Nintendo console? So this was actually posted by My Nintendo News, who you know, reported on the fact that there's the whole the phone call. Basically the Q&A, there's the investors, I guess, a phone call, if you will. I'm trying to blank on what you're supposed to call it. Investors briefing, I guess, results briefing, and whatever. And again, the president of Nintendo had a little bit more to say, right? And basically what he said, and this is actually summarized by Stealth40k over on Twitter, hopefully. This is what he said. He said, as with previous announcements of new hardware, we will continue to release information in phases leading up to launch. And so this is just the first step, right? This is just the beginning. They've acknowledged the console exists. They've acknowledged this is how it's going to be going, you know, going to be rolling out. And so there's going to be phases, right? We got the acknowledgement. Just like the Switch, we got the acknowledgement kind of earlier in the year, and then later in the year towards October, we got an official reveal in October. So we might see that again this year. This is my assumption, obviously. I think they're going to go with a similar timeline as they did with the Switch. Honestly, that's my thoughts, but I could be wrong. And then I think, you know, the actual release could be in March or April of 2025. That's what I would expect, you know, just under a year from the time of recording this. So we'll see how it goes. But again, nothing crazy that he said, just kind of what to expect, and that, you know, there's going to be phases. They'll slowly kind of reveal things as they go along, and it's exciting. I can't wait to see it. So let me know what you guys thought about all this news down in the comments below. Again, rumors and official news. And if you enjoyed this one, leave a like, subscribe for more, and hope to see you guys soon in another one. Tell them, friends, game on, and thanks for watching.